What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica. Y'all gonna ride with me somewhere. And I wasn't gonna make a video today, and I completely forgot that I had an appointment. So I was like, oh, I can make a video today while I'm driving to my appointment. So we're gonna talk. So this weekend, I watched Cuties. I didn't mention that yesterday. I don't know why I didn't mention that, but I did watch Cuties, and I also watched Paris Hilton's documentary, which was very interesting, surprising, a lot of surprising things that was really weird to know about Paris Hilton. Very strange. I guess we can talk about that later. If you haven't watched it, it is on YouTube. It's a trip. But Cuties, I did watch Cuties, and it came, of course, after all of this backlash to cancel Netflix because of the way that the film was marketed. A lot of people thought it was a hypersexualization of little black girls, and Netflix should be removed and erased off of the face of the earth because of a trailer, which is unfortunate that a lot of people were taking that stance before even watching the film or understanding what the film was about. It was all of these opinions and like firm opinions about a film, and you only watch the trailer. And that to me just says a lot about where we are as a society, is that there's a lot of people who just lack critical thinking, who lack the motivation to do their own research, who just go along with whatever everyone else is echoing and then getting on that bandwagon. It's really like, that's sad. It says a lot about us. But the film was basically about the things that we talk about all the time when it comes to little girls and little boys in a social media age. And you know how I always say, I watch this man talk about the effects of little boys and little girls, the psychological effects, the social effects that it's having on little boys and little girls, and social media, how it's affecting little girls more, because little girls and girls are socialized into women who believe that beauty is their commodity. And when you have an industry that focuses on constantly liking something, thumbs upping, giving a heart to show that you like the way this person looks, as little people growing up, and young people 11 and 12 years old growing up, trying to figure out, okay, well, society tells me this is how I should attract boys, and this is what I need to do to attract boys, or this is what I need to do to let people know that I'm a girl and I'm feminine, and it's all of that stuff. And little kids are not to blame for that. Adults, our society is to blame for that. And it is basically a story about an 11-year-old girl who lives with who comes from a Muslim household, okay, and is covering up and all of that stuff. And she goes to this school where she meets these girls that are not covered up, and they are little girls trying to figure it out as well, trying to figure out how do I perform femininity, or what is this performance that I need to demonstrate for these people. And it's like, okay, it's little girls that we would probably call fast. Like, they had on lipstick, they had their midriffs out, they had little shorts on. They're trying to figure it out too. And here comes this little girl who wants to fit in, because that's part of growing up, trying to find your social groups, trying to fit in. She's trying to fit in with these girls, trying to get these girls to like her. She sees one of the girls who happens to live in her building, and she's looking at her, enamored by her freeness and what she thinks is being liberated. And that little girl girl is just as messed up too, trying to figure out how to navigate this world with people trying to tell you how little girls should act and how they should behave and how they should dress and all of this stuff. Then it talks about, they're in a cheerleading or a dance team. So they're in a dance team and they're dancing provocatively because they also have social media. Now, social media is now a part of coming to age. And that is a lot of pressure on little girls. So I really don't know. To me, the response to Cuties says a lot more about adults than it does about hypersexualizing children. It's like when I tell you that this story has not one instance of pedophilia in it, I don't know where you guys got that from. I think it's ridiculous. I was just like, well, I'm trying to figure out where there was a scene where there were men, but it was a man telling another man, like, don't pay attention to these kids. These kids need to get out of this. I think, where were they, in some kind of building or something, and the security guard was telling them, get the hell out. And the little girls were like trying to dance on the man and trying to do like this and saying stuff like that to the man and acting, quote unquote, what they think is sexy. And he was like, get your asses out of here, basically. Get out of this damn building. Y'all need to stop. Leave them little girls alone. It was nothing about grown men or grown women, spying on kids. It was just really centered around lives of 11-year-olds. There's one scene where she starts her period in front of everybody, and they show her pants right in the middle, of course, all bloody and everything, and the awkwardness that comes with starting your period in front of everybody. I started my period when I was 11 years old. I probably have had accidents. I mean, everybody has an accident because you don't know what to do. You don't know how to manage this thing. You learn, and there's people, grown ass women, who still don't know how to manage their periods. You understand what I'm saying? So the awkwardness of an 11-year-old trying to figure this out with a mother who is Muslim, probably not taught, and her mother is going through her own shit. The mother has, of course, her husband has taken on another wife, and now she's left with her children to try to raise them, and she's basically on her own, and she's supposed to act like she's okay with it, and she's in the room crying, and the little girl is under the bed listening to her mother cry about her father taking on another wife. So you have all of these things, this little girl coming of age, you have being Muslim, you have being an immigrant, you have all of these things on top of growing into your own and trying to figure out how you have to perform what society says little girls growing into women should act like. We're coming into womanhood, we have breasts, we're getting hips, we're trying to figure it out. We're in our room, we're dancing, we're trying to figure out, like, what is it, like, do we need to be sexy? Trying to figure out all this shit. That's what Cuties was about. That's what Cuties was about. You niggas is crazy. That's all I gotta say. Y'all out here calling people pedophiles. What's crazy is American marketing. American marketing may have messed up on how they market, because they showed the only scene where these little girls are dancing provocatively, and in their dancing, as they're dancing provocatively, they look stupid as hell, as most 11 and 12-year-olds little girls do, trying to dance sexy. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to mimic what they see on social media. What do the little boys like on social media? And what do you tell little girls that they have to compete with other girls for? Little boys, the attention of little boys. And what are little boys paying attention to on social media? Video games and porn. These are studies. There are real studies out here that show that these are facts. And what do little girls look like? Little girls have been taught to vie for the attention of boys, right? And when I see my peers, my 11 and 12-year-old peers, who I am now trying to figure out how to attract, they like the girls on the internet, because we all follow each other on Instagram. So they like the girls on the internet who have this feature and this feature and this is the way they look. So the little girls are trying to mimic that so that they can attract the boys that we as a society have taught them that they need to get attention from. That's our fault. That's society's fault. And that's That's what Cuties is about. It's coming of age with the added pressures of social media. You got grown women affected by social media. Do you think a little girl trying to figure out how to navigate through this world of starting a period, trying to figure it out? Now I got an added layer of, okay, this is what little boys like. Oh my God, now I got to figure out how to have a big butt. Now I have to figure out, now I got to, oh, they also touched on sending nudity. Having a website, having these little social media sites and sending nudity out to other kids. God, I can't believe she sent out a picture of her vagina. That's what they doing. They're trying to get attention from boys. We should teach little girls something different. Maybe we should not teach little girls that beauty is their commodity. Beauty is how they get noticed by little boys. Maybe we should start working on that. Maybe we should start working on teaching little boys how to behave, with how to relate to little girls. Maybe we should not have our children on social media until they're in high school, until they have some sense of identity. There's no sense of identity in elementary school, and you are allowing your children to have access to the world. And in this world, women are a commodity. Like, I've never heard the term Instagram model so much when talking to men. They really, but they're grown men who are still enamored by grown women on the internet, showing them their ass, showing them their titties, showing them cleavage, being secretive and all this other stuff. What the response, like I said, maybe the marketing was off, but it doesn't have anything to do with pedophilia at all. It really doesn't. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Nothing. And for so many people to have jumped on this bandwagon of let's cancel Netflix because they're showing a movie about pedophilia. First of all, the creator of the film is a black woman, an African woman. I think she is from Senegal, I believe. This is a black woman who made a film that, like, to me, like, this is when I was watching it, I was like, I remember that. I remember being 11 years old and starting my period. I remember being awkward and trying to, do I have to wear makeup? I mean, like, what do I do now? Like, I remember all of those feelings. Like, if you watch it as a little girl, you're going to be like, you're going to feel like, oh, okay, this has been me before. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. I don't think it was anything wrong with the film at all. It's little kids just acting in a coming of age film. And it was awkward. It was at the end when they did that little dance and they were trying to dance and had their butts and doing all of this stuff. What we would call fast, but no, it's really not fast. It's little girls just really trying to figure it out. It's really trying to figure it out with nobody there, like with a mother who is dealing with her own shit of trying to feel enough. Her husband went out and found another woman, and you really can't protest because this is the religion that you follow that says it's okay for your man to go out and get another wife and leave your entire family for you to fend for yourself and your kids. And that layer on top of that, and then on top of the mom being Muslim and not being, there's so many mothers who will not talk to their daughters about sex. They won't, maybe from their own trauma that they've experienced, or maybe they're just embarrassed, or maybe, being prude is a way that we've been taught to act, like, especially white women. They act like if you say vagina, if you say pussy, they act like, oh my God, I can't believe you're saying that. They're so thrown off by a discussion of their own sexuality because we've been taught to be ashamed of growing up, of growing into ourselves, of our bodies. We've been taught these European standards of beauty. So now you're growing up, you don't see you see little boys falling in line with those European standards of beauty and thinking girls that don't look nothing like you are completely attractive. So now I got to figure out, how do I make myself look like these girls so that these boys that I like will be attracted to me? That happens in adolescence, and that happens today. There are women changing their bodies in order to be more desirable for a partner. This is true. So Cuties, I mean, that's all I got to say about it. I've been talking about it too long. Go watch it. It's really, like I said, just a coming of age film of a little 11-year-old and her little peers trying to find their way, trying to figure it out. And I don't understand and in conclusion, I don't understand how adults grow into adults and completely forget about their childhood, completely forget about the awkward moments in childhood, and just completely forget about that, and then just pile on all of their bullshit into this movie when it has nothing to do with whatever you guys have been saying it's about. Nothing. Take care of each other and protect your energy. Peace.